Broadcasting from the KMF Collective Studio, it's time for the Athletes of the Titan Games podcast. This limited release show features the stories of the 2020 contestants of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's athletic competition, NBC's The Titan Games. Now, here's your host, Katie Galley.
Hi everyone, and welcome to Season 2, Episode 22 of the Athletes of the Titan Games podcast. I'm your host, Katie Galley. In the KMF Collective Studio with me today, I have Titan Games athlete and athletic director for the Sacramento County Youth Detention Facility, Exodus Rogers. How are you doing, Exodus?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I am doing awesome. Thank you so much for stopping by and sharing your story with us today.
No problem.
Well, Exodus, I'm really excited to dive in. So you can kind of shed some light on your background a little bit. Where did you grow up, and how, if at all, was your childhood shaped by athletics?
I grew up in Sacramento, California, in the neighborhood of Oak Park. My childhood was shaped by sports. I started playing basketball at a young age, and I've always been kind of a athletic, energetic kid. I was one of the monkey bar boys. Always doing flips, just doing all these crazy things. And my family would always be like, hey, one day you're going to be doing something crazy on TV one day. We could see you doing it. At that time, American Gladiators was big. So,
yeah.
But yeah, I've been playing basketball since like the age of 6, and it's been my first and only love sports-wise for a long time.
Yeah, I love that. And then too, having, having American Gladiators be big at that time. But look, you fulfilled it. You were on TV, and you get to showcase your athletic ability by being on the Titan Games. So that's pretty awesome.
Oh yeah, it was like a dream come true. It's like I have had memories like I'm training nonstop all the time. They're like, "What are you training for?" And I was just like, "I just love it," But turns out I was training for this the whole time.
Isn't that amazing? You were just in that constant state of preparedness because you had a passion for training and fitness, but then it, of course, turned into this incredible opportunity with the Titan Games.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Yeah. And so, Exodus, from that young age, like you said, you loved basketball and you loved just being an active kid. Did you have aspirations to try and continue with your athletic career in any way? Or did you have other passions, other things that really started to take shape at a young age that led you to the career that you're in today?
Well, actually, I've always played basketball and I've always wanted to play basketball, but I kind of bounced around in high school, so I really didn't have as much stability as I needed to play, high school sports. And then, believe it or not, I actually used to be a fat kid. So, yeah, I had a little trouble staying in shape, and because I didn't really understand fitness at a young age like that. But I loved basketball. I was like, they used to call me Round Mound Rebound. It was a Charles Barkley reference.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Yeah, I was big like Barkley, but I could move, Mm-hmm. And so all through high school, I continued playing basketball and everything, and then I started really getting into fitness at like the age of 16, 17, and I started out with a curl bar and a bench press, so I was just lifting like crazy, and then I just figured things out as I went. I'm like, oh, I got to do cardio, I got to do this, I got to do that, I got to eat what I got to eat. So I got to college, and I wanted to play in college, but I went to a small school, and I really couldn't afford, just to go to school and try to play a collegiate sport because I was in Ohio, I was by myself, so I worked 3 jobs and went to class full time. So wow. I still played basketball. I kept the ball in my hand, and my knowledge and love for fitness grew as I was in school, and so. Even though I never played in college, I still had aspirations to play. So after leaving college, I tried out for the Reno Bighorns, the Sacramento Kings D-League team at the time. I made it pretty far, but I got cut probably like in the 3rd or 4th waves of the cuts, and then that was that. And then I continued playing because I love the ball. I can't stop. I played all day today, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, by myself. Like, there's nobody really to play with, quarantine and stuff. But, I go out there and I just shoot hundreds of shots. But then I tore my knee up I tore my ACL and my meniscus, and then after that, it took a long time to come back.
Wow.
But yeah.
And so Exodus. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
You want me to continue? It's a long story.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to hear the whole story.
Okay. So after tearing my ACL and my lateral meniscus, which is the way the doctor explained it, is a bigger portion of my meniscus, I went to a dark place. I slipped into a depression. Like, I didn't know if I was going to come back the same, mentally and or physically, and physically, actually. So that was a long journey. And once that happened to me, it kind of just changed my mindset on how I should approach my fitness and how I should approach the game of basketball, because my style was just 100 miles an hour, nonstop, just so much contact, just boom, 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 but it really taught me, like, to study the game more. So when I was hurt that whole year, I watched a lot of film. I did a lot of research on, like, different types of training, like low impact, because I had a knee injury nursing now, so I couldn't just go balls to the wall like I usually, I'm accustomed to.
Yeah.
And my nutrition got better, my diet and nutrition got better. It wasn't really bad, but I wanted to come back. Like, you ever play like NBA 2K or Madden or something like that, and the character is like overall 99, like, just that's the most perfect, rating you can get. Like, I wanted that. Like, I wanted to be overall 99.
Yeah.
So I just trained. I started learning from other people, and I'm still learning. I'm 33, and I feel like I'm just still learning, which is fun because I don't know everything, and I like not knowing everything because I like learning new things.
Yeah.
So.
Man, and I mean, having that happen, like you said, you were in that pit of despair and sadness and going through that injury, and then coming out the other side, you said, deciding you had to shift your mindset and you had to figure out how to navigate that next phase. And so, Exodus, how did you shift your mindset? What was it? I mean, did you have a mantra that you kept referring back to, or what was it that really pulled you out and led you to start moving down a more positive path mentally?
It was, I instilled in my mind, I said, you know what? I'm never getting hurt like this again, ever. Like, I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that something like this never happens to me again. I mean, and if it does, I'm making my body strong enough to, withstand it. But I was like, I honestly couldn't afford to get hurt like that anymore because, I had to work, I can't, my job requires for me to be, physically fit. So it was just kind of like, I went mentally, I was like, it's either you come back from this stronger or you homeless, man. Like,
wow.
So yeah, that's where I went. And so with that strong mental fortitude, I took that and I just ran with it, and I've been running with it ever since.
I love that. I mean, it's out of necessity, but out of that drive of, okay, this is not going to happen again. I'm going to figure out how to push past this and train and keep myself healthy in a way that this never happens again. And so then Exodus too, like you said, you have to be physically fit for the demands of your job. So how did becoming the athletic director for the Sacramento County Youth Detention Facility come into play?
That was a long journey itself. So let's rewind.
Yeah.
I tore my ACL.
Okay.
2017, I tore my ACL. November 21st, 2:30 p.m. I remember the exact date and time. I started volunteering as a, athletic guy in the youth detention facility in 2015. So this was February 2015. It was a program called LEAP, Learning Enrichment Athletic Program. That was in there. And so I volunteered for 6 months. And basically what we do is we take kids from each unit. We have a gymnasium in there, so we bring them to the gym, basketball gym, full court. And we do program with them. We do like training sessions, or we run basketball games or flag football games in the gym. It's kind of creative how we do that. And I loved it. I fell in love with it. I was like, wow, I always heard this. Always heard this quote, like, those who can't do, they teach. So in that moment, I was like, I may not go far in basketball, but I know enough about basketball to like give back to these kids and teach these kids that are willing to learn, you know, and that goes for fitness as well. So I just fell in love with it. I volunteered for 6 months, and then I applied, and then I got put on as a probation aide, hired on as a probation aide, and then I've been there for 5 years. I just worked my way up. Obviously I had to work in the units and, you know, do all the probation, you know, staff, you know, duties, you know, up until the point where I got into the programming division. And then I got the position as a athletic director, and that was in 2017, July. I got promoted.
Wow.
Yeah, I got promoted, and it hurt in the same year. So I got promoted, ran the program for a few months up until my injury, and got injured, was out for a year, came back in August of 2018. And after that, I had to go to what we call it's like core. It's called core. It's like it's like a training. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I had my surgery March 31st, 2018. I came back to work in August, April, May, June, July, August. So that's 5 months post. But I had like a timeline to where I had to get back to work. So I came back to work kind of hurt. I wasn't all the way healed, but, you know, I just wrapped my knee up and I went and I did all the training, physical training. There was days where we had to run a couple miles and things like that. You know, I just powered through it and still rehabbing, you know. Mm-hmm. And I got back and I was fully healed. I was about 80%, you know. And then I came back and I worked into the units and everything, and I worked my way back to my spot. And then that was January of 2019. When I came back to the athletic programming division at my job. And then, and actually, while I was still rehabbing everything, I remember it was December 2018, I applied for the Titan Games. I saw it on TV. A friend of mine suggested I try, you know, put in for it. I said, you know what, this would be the perfect test for my knee. Like, because I had already been playing basketball, and I came back in such a way that was so much more efficient than my old body that I was so confident enough to do this show. So I'm like, you know what? It's going to be my next challenge. You know, I came back from this injury. That was a huge order to, you know, feel. Came back better. So then January 2019, started training. Like, I applied. I didn't know if I was going to get it or not, but I started training. You know, I was training myself. And I just like looked at the show, studied the show, stuff like that from last season. And I'm like, okay. So I just kept my body in shape. And I actually forgot I applied until I got an email of January of this year, you know, inviting me to a Skype interview. And so I did the Skype interview, did very well on the Skype interview. They invited me to the Combine in Burbank. And it was a 3-day thing. Oh, TV. Have you ever done TV before?
I have not.
Well, I have a newfound appreciation for movies because it's really, really hard. It's long days, 10, 12-hour shooting days.
Wow.
We shot the entrance. Yeah, we shot the entrance for like 2 hours.
Wow.
just walking into the building. They're like, all right, guys, come in, look around. You know, they kind of like ask you to do a couple things. But we're already, the whole group, we're already excited to be there. We're all like, oh, looking and all like, wow, you know, we've never been there before. Some people have never been on TV. Mm-hmm. And I haven't. So I'm like, wow. And I just like, wow. I looked around. I'm like, this is like a playground to me. Like, I don't even feel like this is a tryout. I just want to come and jump on all this stuff and try out all these new toys, you know?
I love that.
And that's the mindset I took into the Combine. So, I mean, they had their set-up events. Am I going too long? You want to get some more questions in?
No, you keep going. This is great. I'll definitely jump in, but I want you to keep going.
So the Combine, they had a few things, to test your physical fitness. So they had a deadlift, they had the VO2 max, they had this agility thing, they had a sled pull. So, funny story, I've never deadlifted in my life.
Wow.
You know, I'm a basketball player. You know, most basketball players, that's not, you know, a go-to workout, you know.
Gotcha, yeah.
freaking out. 2 days, like, I actually had a friend of mine train me. I hired a trainer. So I'm like, a week before the combine, I'm like, I don't know how to deadlift. Like, I'm freaking out. I don't know how to deadlift. So he's trying to teach me and everything, and I'm doing it wrong, apparently. I was like, oh my God. I mean, my technique is off, power is there, strength is there, but I'm just like, and I'm getting really frustrated because I'm a perfectionist, and I've gotten all the way here. Like, I can't afford to fail,
Right.
I can't. I went straight to, it's either be homeless or, like, I went to that mindset when I got hurt, like, you did it. Like, I don't know why I went there, but, like, be homeless to make this show. Like,
yeah.
I'm like, what? I don't know why I went there, but anyways. So I get to the show, and they split us up in groups. Group 1, 2, 3, 4. Shout out to Group 2, by the way. 4, 5, 6. All right. And lo and behold, Group 2 is first on the deadlift. My group. Like, oh, okay. So we had a guy there. It was big, just jacked, and I watched him deadlift, and I'm like, I asked him a few questions. He was actually really cool. He kind of coached me on how to deadlift. And so I don't know if you watched the second episode. Have you watched it?
I haven't been able to watch it yet.
Okay, well, Doc Thor.
Yeah.
Shout out to Doc Thor. He coached me up on my deadlift there during the combine. Pretty much appreciated.
Yeah.
So I went and deadlifted. My first try was about 400. And I
wow.
Boom, I just did it.
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa. And then I just kind of held it there for a minute. I was excited. So they're like, all right, you can drop it. I was like, all right, drop it. So 400 is like, it's heavy, but it's not like, super heavy. There's people out there deadlifting like 1,000, 800, 700. So then I put more weight on it, and I think I went up to like 550. Then I deadlift that. I'm like, wow. I'm like, man, I'm like excited. Like, so then I went up to like 600, around 650, deadlift that. I kind of struggled with that one. I had to go up a little bit more, and then I was like, couldn't do it.
That's kind of incredible, the fact that you had never deadlifted before, and after learning, getting a couple pointers on technique, you were able to jump so much in weight in that, that first kind of competition atmosphere. You just rose to the challenge. Like you said, you defaulted to that mindset of, I can't afford to fail. So you did whatever it was going to take, and you just pushed your body to the limits. That's really amazing too, hearing more about the combine, and then too getting more involved in the show as it started to pick up. And so Exodus, I mean, as you started to get into the show, and of course you're saying you made really great connections, it seems, with the other contestants and and everybody else, and like yourself, who've overcome so many obstacles in their own lives, and maybe in different ways, but they've all arrived at the Titan Games for different reasons, having overcome things and persevered like you have. And so in meeting all these different people, I wonder, what would you say is your definition of a Titan?
My definition of a Titan, well, with our show, it was a lot, like, everybody had a lot of great stories.
Yeah.
So just like seeing everybody's stories now, because a lot of us didn't know each other's stories, and Matt Chan, like, his guy's leg just brutalized, and made my injury seem small, And I actually messaged him. I said, hey, man, much respect. I know how it is to come back from an injury like that. You got, it changes you. It changes you mentally. And so I think my definition of a Titan is someone who perseveres, during any type of hardship, like, because it's easy to give up. It's easy to give up when you're down because you don't see the hope when it first happens to you. But when you have, like, a major one, you imagine yourself going from 100 to 0, like from sprinting to not being able to walk for a year. Wow. From going to take a shower on your own to not being able to use the bathroom on your own for about 4 weeks because you can't get out of bed. Yeah. So it really cripples you somewhat physically, but definitely mentally, because it's like you don't know how you're gonna come back. I'm thinking I can't even get up and pee. You know, I have to pee in this cup. How am I ever gonna get back on the basketball court and run around and sprint and do the things that I do on the court? You know, so
Yeah.
It takes you to a dark place. And so, but when I saw his comeback, you know, just persevering through that, I can relate, and I know how it feels. You got to be a special kind of strong to come back from that. You know, you have to really dig deep. It's like when you kind of hit those extra reps, you know, trying to hit that PR, you know, trying to, you know, go past that goal. You have to dig deep because there's nothing there to hold on to but yourself. And so, yeah.
Absolutely. Right. I mean, I can't imagine the mental toll, but you're right. It's then deciding that you're going to persevere, you're going to pull yourself out of it. And like you said, like the Titans, the individuals you had the opportunity to meet, they all did, and you yourself did as well. And so too, Exodus, with knowing also that The Rock, he obviously overcame many obstacles in his life and being the creator of the Titan games and bringing all you guys together. Do you have any recollection of maybe when you first became aware of who The Rock was, maybe when you were younger growing up, just maybe your first recollection of knowing or remembering who he was?
Oh, I first knew him as Rocky Maivia. Then after that, in the Nation of Domination, The Rock, favorite wrestler. I know all about The Rock.
Yeah.
So he's man, like they said, most electrifying man in sports entertainment. I just like I remember SmackDown first came out. Oh my God, SmackDown, the show. That was my show, and I'm like, well, I even had the game, did the creative players, the whole thing, like, you know. So Rock, and then he separated from the Nation. I know this is all scripted, but you know, I was a big fan. I just know the story.
Yeah. Yeah.
He became, you know, and all the rivalries he had with Stone Cold, and you know, it was just like, man, I would literally watch wrestling just to see him. Like, the other characters were cool because I was a big wrestling fan. But yeah, I remember when he came to Sacramento and he did that song with the guitar. All everybody was mad. I was like, I'm from Sacramento, but it was classic rock. It was funny, you know. He's an entertainer. He's one of the best I've ever seen.
Yeah. I love that. I mean, being such a fan and admiring him from a young age, and then fast forward to being able to actually meet him and be on a show that he created for individuals who've overcome and persevered just like you.
Yeah. Actually, you know, it is a big thank you to DJ. They like to call him DJ, The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. Big thank you for giving us an opportunity, you know, to have the world look at us on this platform, this big stage, and show off our athletic ability. He really looked out for us. No, it's like in a way, when I give back to the kids, it's like he's giving back, you know, to his roots, you know, when he first picked up his first wage, when he played his first sport, you know, he's really giving back in that way.
I love that. That was, it's a great respect, and clearly it's, again, like you see your own mission, your own life mirrored in what he has done, and that's so amazing. And so now for you, Exodus, I mean, having this incredible your life's journey, and then leading you to being a contestant on the Titan Games, knowing that now you can use this platform to inspire and help more people, looking forward, knowing that you're going to, of course, achieve everything that you continue to set your mind to. But I just have one final question that I ask all of my interviewees. What do you want to be remembered for?
I want to be remembered through the people that I help, you know, because I don't do it for myself, really. You know, I do it for these kids. I mean, I want them to be a product of my accomplishments, and that they look at me and see, like, hope to, you know, do something great in life. That's how I want to be remembered, by someone who inspires somebody else. You know, I paid it forward. So maybe these kids grow up, be successful, and they pay for it in the next generation, and the next generation, and the next generation, because of the groundwork that I laid, you know, and the sacrifices that I've made to help people and help mainly this people in general, the kids too. But yeah, I just want to pay it forward, and keep the energy rolling, keep the good energy rolling, because as it's tough times right now. So I just want to be a beacon of hope for people. Anybody, who just felt like they couldn't get through something or persevere. And, I'm living proof to show that, anything's possible. If you will it, if you work hard, some may have to work harder than others, but, as long as you stay diligent, stay humble and continue grinding, anything's possible.
Thank you all for tuning in to today's installment of the Athletes of the Titan Games podcast. To learn more about each of these Titan athletes, be sure to check out their information in the links in my show notes. Furthermore, to stay up to date on all things coming out of the KMF Collective, be sure to subscribe to the Keep Moving Forward YouTube channel and follow along on social media, also available in the show notes. As the creator of the Titan Games, Mr. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson says, "Titans aren't born, they're made." And I hope today's story helped you realize all that you are capable of becoming if you put in that hard work and just keep moving forward.